Hi, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon. Are you ready for the interview?
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Okay. Okay. Start about your career, about your skill set.
Okay, so myself Lakan. Currently, I'm working in Priority Consulting Services as a full stack developer. I'm working here since November 2022. So here my tech stack is mainly it was firstly React, Node, Express, MongoDB. But after some months, they started exploring other technologies such as Python, Django, and also some no-code tools such as Xano and Vim for backend, and for front-end VWeb. So apart from that, I have also worked in Convent before Prodity. There I was working as a front-end developer. Uh, Also talking about my educational experience, so I did BTech from BBD University, Lucknow. Also currently pursuing my MBA in online mode from MIT University.
Okay. You have very short experiences with all the companies, right?
In this current company, I'm working since November 2022, so it's around 1 year, 6 months for the current company.
Okay. And about previous one, I
That
mean, there
was
was
for
very
that was for around 4 months, more than 4 months. Around it was 4 to 5 months between.
so 2 year. I mean, it is your total experience around 2 year, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What kind of project you are currently working?
So currently we are working on travel agency project. So what we are doing is like we are getting data from global distribution systems such as Sabre and ADS, which provide all the airline data, and we are getting that data from that, and we are manipulating data according to our use case. Then we have three component here: B2B, B2C, agent desktop. So agent desktop is main backend which handles all the functionality and all the business use case. So it is the main backend. So there is one more component, that is Bumblebee. It is the just a middleware. It just acts as middleware. Like it, its role is to get data from GDS or some airlines such as Air Arabia, Indigo, and manipulate data to according to our Grimlock use case and like B2B, B2C. So it just provides data. For here, my role is to handle the agent desktop part, that like whole backend part, that is Grimlock. Here I have worked on like this part, and also have exposed API for B2B, B2C. They are using my API only. On the other hand, I am calling Bumblebee API, and Bumblebee is calling Sabre or other GDS API. So it is full-fledged travel agency project. We have four types of login here. One is super admin, like us, who needs to add data and other things. Then there is agency admin. In agency admin, there is counselor and finance. Finance also, yeah. One more thing, I have built whole finance module on my own. Like in finance, there are DSR like daily sales report, counselor wallet, B2B wallet, and yeah, in DSR there is unreported section, then reported, then verified, unverified. So worked on all that. Talking about API integration, so I have firstly I started with flight search, then worked on PNR booking, then sync booking, then create ticket, sync ticket, then void ticket. So most complex part was here is to handle sync PNR API, because in that there is very unknown scenario which even we have worked on for 3 months. Even today we are not sure like anything comes extra, because counselor comes login, and he can do anything on command line. And when he sync the PNR, the response, we aren't sure like how type of response will come, what will be the structure of response. So handling that part and referencing it to other list, referencing the traveler to fare code, then fare code with ticket, that all part was little bit complex. Apart from that, it was very good experience for the current project.
Okay. What external tool you have used in your application?
Okay, so talking about external tools, so we have used decision rules, that is third-party tool which is used to decision rules to define all the types of travel agency rule, like when airline will be this, when supplier will be this, when flight will be this, then this should happen, like when then scenario. Apart from that, also we have used temporal. temporal is used to like orchestrate the whole process. Like we have, as I said, there are more than two, three components. One is Bumblebee, one is Grimlog, another is B2B. So to orchestrate the whole things, we are using, we have now started using temporal, which orchestrate the whole component. Then apart from that, we have also used Xano for some part of our backend handling. And apart from that, also we have used some. If you are aware about typesense like for searching, when we are searching flight, so getting faster response. Typesense is similar to Amazon, AWS Elasticsearch, so similar to that. So we have also used that, and yeah, that's all. Also, we have used one more component, Azure Blob Storage. Apart from that, yeah, that is all.
Okay. Do you have any exposure about Socket.io?
Yeah, I've worked on that.
Okay. So for what kind of requirement you have worked with the Socket.io?
In my firstly, I worked on my personal project. Then when I was in Conway, so there I have a little bit worked with backend team. So there was Socket.io used like real time communication between two parts of server. So there I've connected have been connected with them and have exposure
So
of that.
you have connected to server with the socket, right?
Yeah, a real time. Yeah.
Okay.
Similar to client server module, like broadcast, then emitting, then each component which is like connected to that server, then they are notified, like similar to that.
What was the requirement actually?
Requirement was like their project was something AI based call center. So their one requirement was to when when client needs to communicate with all their all their person under him, so he needs to broadcast a event, and each person that are connected, they need to be get notified in real time. So there, that was one requirement for that scenario.
Have you any exposure about Redis?
Yeah.
So what is Redis, and or what kind of requirement you have worked with?
Okay, so Redis is used for catching. Like it is similar to database, but not exactly database, because Redis stores the data in primary storage compared to other database which store the data in secondary storage. Also, Redis stores the data in NoSQL, similar to key value pair. But it is not limited to one structure. It can store the data, like many types of storing data, like bset, set, and others. So yeah, that was the case. So Redis in our current project only. So in one case where the data, like when counselor comes, log in and search the flight search results, then he came after another some time and he goes to search same flight. So for that case, API is taking around 10 to 10 second or 8 to 10 second. So to reduce that, we just cache the whole data in Redis server and send data directly from there. So that is the use case from us. And how Redis works, as I said, it is used for catching the data. It stores the data in primary memory compared to other database which store data in secondary memory. Also, it store data any type, like there, as I said, there's B set, and other also.
What
So
is the
that
main disadvantage of Redis?
main advantage is to let's say
Disadvantages.
okay, disadvantages like it doesn't store the data for like we need to define how much time limit we need to store the data in Redis, or it doesn't store data for whole, or as I said, for whole duration, like whole period. It is just a primary memory, and its advantage is like when we want to fetch data or store data, create post data, get data from directly from secondary memory or database, it is slower, because a database is slower. Database work is to store data, not to provide faster response. So Redis here comes to tackle this by storing some of important data which is frequently accessible. So it stores all the data in Redis storage and give it data by faster response. That is the main use case. So Redis is like each have their own use case. Like we when we are working on a big application, there's no like we will use just Redis, or we will just use SQL, or we will just use MongoDB. So Redis may be used to store some part of our data which is frequently accessible, but MongoDB and other database can be used to store data which needs to be stored permanently. So that each have their own use case.
And what is the, I mean, scenario if you are getting the real time data in server,
Yeah,
and the data, I mean, changes quickly on server,
yeah.
and you have a huge set of data, then how will you manage with the Redis?
Okay. One thing we can do here, like we are getting data frequently, and data is changing. So depending upon, I think one more thing here we can use, that is Kafka, because let's say that data is as you said, that data is coming every second or every millisecond, and we need to store that data in database also, and we need to frequently provide response, like fast response. So in that case, Kafka can be used, because what Kafka do, it work on provider and consumer model, the producer consumer. So it can like work in such a way, like let's say create a scenario. Let's say there's a Zomato or Uber, where the driver is sending data each millisecond, his her location, and that data need to be stored in database because of like analytics purpose and other purpose. And also that data needs to go to a user who has ordered or something on in real time. So for that, each millisecond data is coming, and that data needs to. So producer here is Uber driver or Zomato, uh, as I said. So they will produce data every millisecond, and that data goes to one single location, where that is Kafka stores there. Then after some time, Kafka will dump that data directly to database, and each like consumer that is attached to provider, they will get data every millisecond in real time. So for the scenario which you have created here, Kafka will, I think, it will work better, like getting data in real time.
Have you worked with Kafka in professional career?
Not in professional career, but yeah, like as I said, because in my like current company, the Kafka use case, they were about to work now, but haven't used right now. But yeah, they were about to use. So there's no, like, I've done POC on that, but no, not used in our client projects.
Okay, what is indexing in MongoDB?
So indexing in MongoDB is similar to, like if you want to get a data, like in SQL there is primary key which is unique for each table. So indexing in MongoDB is, I think, similar to that. If you want to get the collection of in MongoDB, everything is stored in collection. So we need to like get multiple documents from a particular collection, or from more than one collection. So what we do is like we do indexing to get faster response, because it is unique, and it helps us to get faster response compared to using any field.
Okay. What is aggregation framework?
Okay, so yeah, as I said, in MongoDB aggregation is used, but I'm not much aware about that, because currently we are working on SQL only. It's been a time that we have used MongoDB. It's been a 3 to 4 months, but yeah, I have a little bit idea. Aggregation is like, let's say we have there is a collection, let's say any collection in MongoDB which stores the data. Then we have nested collection. So let's say we want to get a particular document which is linked to another collection. So in that case, aggregation is used to get the data by linking each collection, and which are nested or either in other collection. So aggregation is here used to get the data in faster.
Do you know scaling in a database?
Yeah, scaling I know, but in which term you asking? Can you please give me a hint?
So you don't know scaling, right?
Yeah, like scaling in.
Scaling,
Sorry.
scaling having own terms that you know. I think you should know about the database scaling.
Okay, so maybe I'm not aware of that.
Okay. Okay. If you have to check your query performance, how will you check that?
Okay, first of all, like if manually we can do, first of all we can check like we are querying data from multiple database, and each like one there is one table is linked to another table, then another table is linked to another table, and we are fetching data from a particular table, and that data is linked to another table, and vice versa. So in that case, first we need to identify how much table we are looping over, and
I'm
like.
talking about query performance.
Yeah. Okay. So in that case, yeah, performance will be checked in such a way like how much second it's taking depending upon from a particular table.
So how will you identify? How will you check that?
Uh, there is in like in SQL dashboard we can check for running by particularly how many milliseconds is taking, how many seconds is taking by running that query in their dashboard only.
Okay. How many types of indexing available with MongoDB?
Uh, Not aware of that.
Okay. You mostly work with the relational database, right?
Yeah, I worked with mostly with like in this in recent project from 6 to 7 months, it is SQL only.
Okay. Can you explain relations between the table? I mean, how
Yeah,
many relations, how many types of relations are there, and what is relations? Can you explain all the terms?
yeah, like there is if you see like there is mainly two types of a relation only, one to one or one to many, and many to many, three types of relation. So what relation each relation does is like, let's say there are two tables and one table, and we want to store one first we want to add a particular row
Take
in.
your time and explain clearly.
Yeah. Okay, so let's say in my current project only, I'm explaining that term only. There is one DSR table, another one is docket transaction table. So DSR table is linked upon docket transaction row, because when docket transaction row is added, then only DSR row will be added, because it has one-to-one relation. Uh, some data is in the docket transaction only. So in that case, there is one-to-one relation, and when docket transaction row is added, then DSR row is added, and when we want to fetch a data, let's say for a DSR row using docket transaction, or a docket transaction row using DSR. So as there is one-to-one relation, so we just need to put an index and we will get one row from that. But in case of many to many or one to many, like here, let's say docker transaction is and DSR is many, so there is one to many relation. So depending upon that, let's say we want to take a data of DSR where docker transaction is ID is equal to 1. So in that case, we will get multiple row of DSR for a particular docker transaction ID, because there is one to many. Or similarly, many to many also works in such a way. But why it is used, why one to many to many, depending upon business use case. Like in e-commerce application, one user can have multiple product, one user, and one product can have only one cart. So here product and cart have one-to-one relation, then user between user and product there is one-to-many relation, and many-to-many is like let's say one multiple user. I'm just giving a
Okay.
scenario.
Okay. Okay. What is normalization?
Okay, so normalization is like when there are three types of normalization: one NF, two NF, three NF. Also, four NF is there, but not used uh, frequently. So normalization is used to like when there is relation between multiple tables, and we want to normalize like providing consistency, because there may be some inconsistency while getting data. So for that case, normalization is used.
what application architecture you are using with Node application?
Yeah, for Node, as I said, when we were using Node, then their tech stack was only one. But after then, when we switched to other technologies like Python, Django, and some no-code tools, so we started using SQL. So Python, SQL combination. For front end also, we have also started using some, as I said, no-code tools such as VWeb and others. But before that, when we were using their tech stack was MERN stack. So MongoDB Express, React, and Node architecture was there.
Okay, can you explain the event loop?
Yeah, okay. So event loop is a term in JavaScript, not specifically in Node.js because it is in browser as well, or also in Node.js runtime environment as well. So what event loop is like, let's say we want to execute some asynchronous task, asynchronous operation, which takes some time to happen. Let's say fetching data from backend or set timeout in browser, not in just in browser, in Node.js also. Also other things which takes some time to happen, like that is asynchronous. So in that case, in JavaScript works in such a way like it execute. It is single threaded synchronous, like it doesn't wait for like this happened, then it will go to next line. Then when this function will fully execute, then it doesn't work in such a way. So what it put that function in event loop. So and also whenever some asynchronous, it just put that in event loop, and each event has their own priority. Like there is micro task queue, macro task queue, and other type of queue which have their own priority. Depending upon their priority, they get executed. Like file getting data from file system, it is have more priority. Similarly, some task listed timeout has very less priority. So depending upon priority level, it get executed in, and whole asynchronous task as said is put in event loop.
Okay, okay. Suppose if we are performing two execution, performing two events, for one for file reading and another for database fetching. Data fetching from database.
Yeah.
So both of the tasks, which will be the high priority?
I think
On
fetch has more priority compared to getting data from file. So it will go into macro task queue, and the another one that you said, it will go into micro task queue. So fetch will be executed first, then this will be executed. So it is not, yeah, as I said, there is priority, but there's not just the priority scenario. It will check whether that getting data from backend is completed or not. If it is executed, then only it will execute. It wouldn't wait for like there were two operations. One is getting data from get backend, another one was getting data from our internal file or putting data in internal file. So but after whole code executed, we check which operation has been completed. We will first check whether the getting data from backend is completed or not. If it is completed only, then we will execute. We will then after that we will go to file. But in case if isn't completed, then we will directly go to file. Then after that we will again check whether this is completed or not. Then it will execute. Priority
okay,
is defined, but yeah,
okay,
depending.
okay. How Node.js managing the synchronous operation?
Uh, Node.js is by default synchronous only, so it will execute whole things in synchronous only. If you want to do some asynchronous operation, then we do some like async event operation or using callback also. So we have to define externally, but Node.js by default synchronous only. So it
So
will
Node.js is by default synchronous, right?
yeah, single threaded synchronous. But yeah, just like we can execute a synchronous operation here, but need to, like, let's say we have built a simple node just where aren't using anything, so that will execute synchronously. It will first complete first line of code, then second, then third, then fourth, then it will work in such same way only. Asynchronous
Okay,
comes when we use like some other tools like set timeout or other, then we have to define it, that this operation is asynchronous.
okay. Do one thing, just share your screen.
Sure.
Going to share some task you have to solve there. Okay, now I have done all the set of questions, and I'm going to share your feedback to the HR. And they will inform you. Okay.
Okay, sure. Till when I will get feedback?
I'll just share the feedback to HR and they will inform you.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
So